The 18th of May, Rabbi Moore, Parsha Hashavua Balosecha. Bechukosai.
Okay. Everything okay?
Hello, Rabbi. Yes, sorry, I was
I
indisposed.
hear you. Why can't I hear you?
I don't know.
Why can't I hear you? 1 second.
Can you hear me, Yechiel?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay, let's go. Hi, Yechiel. You're not going off to Meron tomorrow, are you?
I am planning on being here. Are you going to teach?
Bezrat Hashem, I'll be here as well.
Great.
Nasati Shalom. Okay. We were up to Pasuk Yud Gimel.
Ani Hashem Elokeichem.
Ani Hashem Elokeichem, yeah.
Asher hotzesi eschem me'eretz Mitzrayim. Miyos lahem avadim. Ve'eshbor. Bo'eshbor. Motos hem. Va'olech eschem koma mius. Okay, that's the end of the pasuk. Let me let Me'er in. Okay, so it means I am Hashem your God that brought you out of the land of Egypt.
Took you out of the land of Egypt.
To be, I'm sorry, that you should be.
Mihiyois lohem avodim. From being servants to them. Means I took you out from being servants. That you are no longer
from being servants to them. And I have broken the bars of your yoke. And I have made you upright.
Okay.
Olech means to make. What does Olech mean?
You know, I would lead. Olech eschem. I'm just trying to see how I translate
lead you upright. Makes more sense. I will lead
Sorry.
Labriut.
Wake up the neighbors, eh? Yeah.
Like the word holech.
Yeah, from the same word, correct. I'm just trying to find here by broke the pegs of your yoke and led you forth. Rashi's going to say.
Broke the what of your yoke?
So Rashi's going to explain. I'll explain it because I translated. I led you forth with your heads held high. We'll see in Rashi.
Okay. How are you translating the word motot?
The pegs.
Pegs?
Of your yoke. Rashi, look, we're going to see in Rashi. Rashi's going to
Something
explain
that holds the yoke together, apparently.
Right.
The pegs, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so Rashi says, Ani Hashem Elokeichem Kedai Ani Sheta'aminu Vi. I am worthy that you should believe in me. Ani Yachol La'asos Kol Ele. That I am able to do all of these things. Sheharei hotzesi eschem me'eretz Yitzrayim. That behold, I brought you forth from the land of Egypt. Va'asisi lachem nisim gedolim. And I made for you great miracles. Okay, so motos, Rashi says, kamin yaseid, a kind of peg.
Right.
Bishnei rashe ha'ol, at the two ends of the yoke. I guess it means at the two heads of the yoke, literally.
Right. Right. Two
Kima,
ends. It doesn't mean in this sense because the yoke runs across the neck of the animal, from one animal to the next.
right?
So
Hame'akvim ha-mosera, and they hold back the band.
right.
Shelo seitzei me rosh hashor, that it should not
Yes.
slip from the head of the ox. Viyatir hakesher, and loosen the knot. Kamo, like asay lecha mose ros umotos. Make for you bands and bars.
Well, it means in this sense, pegs.
Bands and pegs. And it's cherry in Old French.
But what? I have a completely different word.
I have
Cherille.
Cherille.
I have
The
a
Hebrew
word.
has a kuf.
Kuf, and I have a base as well there. 1 second.
Kubli.
Cheville. Yeah, cheville in Old French.
Cheville.
In my French word, transliterated French word, it has kevile.
Yeah, that looks like what the Hebrew says.
Yeah, with a kuf. Yeah.
Yeah, no, kuf, and then a vase.
Right. Kavili. Yeah.
Kevile.
Yeah, well, kevile, cheville. That you pronounce it. Oh, yeah, kevile. Kevile.
Koma
Okay.
us.
By the way, you know something, it's interesting. If you compare Rashi's Old French to present day French, I mean, the Old French used to be has much less softer sounds, much harsher sounds. For instance, the CHE was pronounced ke rather than she.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And where else did you have? I'm just trying to think. Also the the CH sound particularly I'm thinking of. There's some other sounds as well. By the way, I had used to have, once upon a time I had a chavrusa who was from Argentina, who's obviously there. I think they speak Spanish there.
Right, they do.
And he said that Rashi's Old French is much more similar to modern day Spanish than to modern day French.
Wow.
which is an interesting point. Okay.
Kumer
Yeah.
mius, upright. Bikom,
Koma,
Bekoma, so it's a kamatz.
yeah, Bekoma Zekufa.
Bekoma Zakufa, with an erect stature.
Right. So it really means it's Bekoma Zekufa means somebody. Bekoma Zekufa means, that's why I translate it, with your heads held high. Right? Means you were proud, you were strong, you were sure of yourself, confident of yourselves. That's what it means, komomius. I led you, right? Komomius means with your, as I say, you say that's the colloquial phrase you'd use in English, is with your heads held high. Meaning you were cocksure of yourselves.
Don't we learn that that's a bad midah, that a person should walk with his head lowered slightly?
Yes, you're 100% right. That's in general. But I'm saying, I'm just, Komas Kufa means, yeah, but as far we're talking about the nation as a whole rather than each individual. Whereas each individual is supposed to practice humility, but as a nation, right, the Jews could be, indicate their superiority over the nations. Okay. Now let's continue. Pasuk Yud Dalet. Meir.
Okay. Yud Dalet. It says the im lo tishma'uli, the lo ta'asu et hamitzvot ha'eleh. Okay.
Kol hamitzvot.
Right, call hamitzvot ha'eleh. Okay, so let's see. And if you don't listen to me and do not do all the commandments, all these commandments, all of these commandments. I hear.
Now, Rashi is going to explain this pasuk in contrast to the beginning of the first pasuk of the Parsha, because the first pasuk says, Bechukosai telechu, ves mitzvosai tishmeru vasisem oisom, which are all positive things. And there Rashi explained, Bechukosai telechu means, shetu amelim b'Torah, that you should be diligent in learning Torah. Actually, just remember how I translated that again. I translate, if you pursue the study of my statutes.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see the Rashi on.
Here, this pasuk is in contrast to that. There we said three positive things. If you are diligent about learning, and you do the mitzvahs, and you what's it? Ushmartem.
So if you there are three. If you listen to me, if you do them,
like if you keep them, tishmeru means to.
And
careful, and you do them. Okay.
Okay. Listen.
Yeah. By the way, there I forgot to mention over there, shmira and kiyum. Shmira is generally referring to the making sure not to transgress the negative commandments. Vasisem oisam means to actually fulfill, positively carry out the positive commandments.
Okay, so
Okay.
Rashi. The imlo tishma'uli. If you don't listen to me. Lihiyot amelim b'Torah. to be toiled in Torah?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Ladat Midrash Hachamim. To know the Midrash, explanations of the sages, I guess.
Right.
Okay. Yachol, the Kiyum HaMitzvot. So one is able to fulfill the commandments, the mitzvot. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, Kishehu Omer, when it says, V'lo ta'asu v'gomer, he will not do, I guess then, Harei. Okay, so now Harei Kiyum Mitzvot Amor.
Yeah, in other words, Rashi's saying we've got the same question over here in this pasuk as we had on the first pasuk. Now, means it could mean Bimloi Sishmuli means you don't observe the mitzvahs, you don't listen to me. I told you to do the mitzvahs and you don't listen. Right. But that cannot be because the pasuk then continues, V'lo sasu es kol ha-mitzvos ha'ela, and you don't do these mitzvahs. So the Torah didn't need to say then Bimloi Sishmuli. Just says if Imloi tasu es kol ha-mitzvos ha'ela. What is Lo Tishmuli? That's what he says. Yochel akayim ha-mitzvahs, kushoim v'lo sasu harei kiyum ha-mitzvos amor. Omani mekayim b'lehem sishmuli lios amelim b'Torah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now how do I know Tishmuli is referring to Tia Amelim B'Torah? Right? Because l'chayra it's going back on the original. Meaning, in other words, Imlo Tishmuli can either mean one of two things. If you don't listen to me when I've told you to do all the mitzvahs, but that can't be referring to that. So it must be something else which I told you. You don't listen to me, something else. What was the other thing? Go back to the first passage. It says, Kosh Baruch Hu told him, which means you should be diligent in learning. Now, if you don't listen to me, what I told you before, i.e., you're not diligent in learning, that's what he said. Because it can't be referring to the fulfillment of the mitzvahs, because the Torah says explicitly, and you don't keep the mitzvahs. Okay?
Okay. And it goes on. He says, Umat Hamud Lomar Li. So why does it say to me?
Right.
Okay. So Ainli Ella.
Ainli Ella Zeh Hamakis Riboinoi Umiskamen Limod Boy. Means who's going to be punished now? Because if we're going to say somebody's not diligent in learning Torah, that's pretty tough. Means anybody who's not diligent in learning Torah, Chas v'Shalom, is going to be stricken with all these curses mentioned over here. It's pretty tough. Okay, so Rashi said no. It's only somebody who has the ability to able to learn and be diligent, and he says no. Kosh Baruch Hu, I'm not interested.
Oh,
okay. That's what he says. He recognizes his master, his creator, and his intention to rebel against him.
Wow. Okay. B'chein b'Nimrod. So the same as with Nimrod. Let's see. Gibor Sayyid Lifnei Hashem. There must be a pasuk from someplace. From Rashi, okay. So let's see, Gibor, he's a mighty hunter before Hashem. Okay. She Makiro, that he recognizes him. Okay, Umit Kavein Limrod.
Bo. His intention is, he intentionally rebels against him.
Oh, but he still, even though he recognizes him. Wow. Okay. V'chein v'anshei Sodom. Oh, and so to the people of Sodom, Ra'im v'chataim lahashem ma'od. They were evil and sinful. Right, very much to Hashem.
To Hashem.
Right.
So, but it means the intention was, when they sinned, was against Hashem. Otherwise, the word La Hashem is somewhat superfluous.
No, I agree with you there. Wow.
Okay? Mekimes Rabbainam, they recognized the Creator, umiskavnim limod boy, and they intentionally rebelled against him. This was by the people of Sodom. It's very interesting. I don't know if I mentioned this in our time, that what was Sodom's worse, so much worse than everybody else, that Kosh Baruch says, I'm going to destroy, Hashem destroyed Sodom. Not only that, the whole place became totally uninhabitable, right?
Well, yeah, weren't they stealing from one another?
Yeah, but not so much. But the main thing was they didn't do chesed.
Oh.
In fact, the Mishnah in Avos says, Shali, Shali, Shalcha, Shalcha. Some say Zumida Beinanis. Some say it means like an average person. Yeah, what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours. So Zum Midas Sodom. This is the midah of Sodom.
Oh.
And the Mefarshim explain that what is midas Sodom? Actually, I heard a story that in Rabbi Scheinberg, he was giving a shir on Bava Kama. There's a whole sugya there, al koifin al midas Sodom. Meaning, if I can benefit, I have something of yours, which you're not using at all, and you wouldn't rent it out, and by using it, it doesn't cause it to deteriorate in any way. Let's say you have a property, you have a house or an apartment, and you don't rent it out, you wouldn't rent it out anyway, and the place is sitting empty. Am I allowed to come in and live there? Okay, so the mark says it's a chotza de lo ovid lemega, v'gava de lo ovid le chotza de kaima la'agra, v'chava de lo ovid adam de lo ovid lemega. Meaning, not a person who's used to paying rent for anything. He's got his own apartment, let's say, and he's not used to renting an apartment, and the place itself is not normally being rented out. So the place is just sitting empty. And for whatever reason, somebody wants to come along and now wants to, what they call in English, squat. Okay? He wants to move there, maybe just for a short time, whatever. Can the owner say, no, it's mine and I'm not letting you in? Are you not losing anything? Couldn't care less. It's mine. Okay? So the Gemara says that's koifin al midas Sodom. This person saying, because it's mine and I'm not going to let you go there, right? That is midas Sodom. So the Mefarshim say, what do you mean? The person's not necessarily mechuyev. So the Mefarshim explain what the idea is that, and this was midas Sodom. It's an interesting svara because you person, especially in Western society, you might think, well, there's maybe good reason behind it. If Hashem made it that I have something and you don't, why should I have to help you to get you out of your situation that you don't have and I do? Let's say I'm a millionaire. And a guy comes along, a poor person comes knocking on my door, and he says, you know, can you give me something to help? I have nothing to eat. So the guy turns around and says, what do you mean, coming to me? God made it like that. God made me rich. God made you poor. I'm not going to change things. Is that a good svara or not?
No.
I don't think
No.
so. No.
But that actually was Hitler Yimach Shemois svara. His hatred for the Jews, somebody quoted, this is what he quoted there in the shir, in the Scheinberg shir. I heard it from somebody who was there. He said that Hitler's theory, or should we say his, not ideal is the right word, what do you call it? I've forgotten the right word. His thing was survival of the fittest, meaning we're going to run the world as is, and everybody will be a fight for survival. No chesed, no kindness, no helping one another. Because Hitler, Yimach Shemo, his svara was no chesed in the world. Each one fighting for his own. And his hatred for the Jews was because the Jews base their theory of living on chesed.
Ooh.
And that's what Midas Sodom is. What's mine is mine and what's yours is yours, meaning the twain shall never meet. That if God's given to me what's given me what I have, and he didn't give it to you, I can't go around and change things. We're going against God's will. Sounds very religious, right? We're going against God's will by doing chesed. For me to change that I should give you of my riches, that you shouldn't be as poor as you were before, I'm changing the divine plan. Sounds right, but that's without chesed. Nakash Baruch Hu gave us the mitzvah of chesed, tzedakah, chesed, and everything else to do with helping. Mitzvah helping each man, helping out his fellow man. And on the contrary, the Orach Chaim HaKodesh explains, and the other Mefarshim as well says, the pasuk in Parshas Mishpatim says, "Im kesef tal ve'esami." If a person has money more than what he needs, and he has that available to lend others, right? Really, that money has been predestined to go to that poor person. It's not for you. But the reason why Hashem has given it to you in order to make you a medium, to make you God's shliach, in order to provide for that honor. Therefore, so by the way, it's also an interesting part. The Maharal also mentioned this. We have a very interesting, it was no go to last week's Parsha more. Why is it forbidden for me to take interest? If I lend you money, I'm not allowed to take interest. Right? On the other hand, if I lend you my car, I'm allowed to charge you for using my car. What's the difference? I can't charge you for using my money, but I can charge you for using my car. In fact, the Gemara has an interesting ma'aser there. It says one of the Amoraim, he didn't charge interest. What did he do? He lent out his money for a charge. And what happened to his money? Went down the drain. He lost out all his money, which the shad is that he was ribbis. And the Gemara goes into it why it was ribbis and whatever. But anyway, but the ma'aser, what is the difference? He charged people for lending out his money. The answer is, and this is a very interesting concept. I'm not sure I'll be able to fully just give you the full justification. Not justification, the right word. Fully give a full explanation of it. But the idea is as follows. Money, right? As I said, money makes the world go around. But money has no real value. Money is purely a means. It's an intermediary to get what I want. If a person had only money and nothing else, what would happen to him?
He'd starve.
He would starve and he would die. Why? He's got all the money. Because money, be'etzem, has no real value. It has purely a value as an intermediary to obtain, to achieve, or to get what I want. That's why it's interesting. I had this from my Rebbe, Ramesh Shapira, Zechariah Bracha. He says, kesef, money is called kesef. It comes from Lashon nechsoif nechsaftim, which means I yearn. Kesef is a means to get to something. Whereas what I want, chayfetz, an object is called a chayfetz, because that's what I want. Ani chofetz, zemashani chofetz. It's called a chayfetz. So money is purely an intermediary to get to the objects which you really want, which because what you need, or things which you think you need. But anyway, but Maisa, that's called the thing. So money for itself has no real value. So therefore, if I have money, why is Hashem giving me the money? If I have all what I want, it's kiddu. Why should that be mine more than yours? Elamai, Pshadis HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving it me to make it available to others and to fulfill a mitzvah of helping them out. Therefore, I can't charge you for that. Something, a chayfetz, which I need, let's say my car, I need it for driving. If I give it to you to use, I can't use it then. Then I can say, 1 second, instead of mine using it, you're using it, so I can charge you for that. But if I have money, what do you mean? I could use it, now you couldn't use it. There's no such thing as that. There's money is that I can get something else. If I don't right now need it to get something else and it's sitting around by me, it's not really mine. It's that intermediary is not in use right now. And so Elamai, it's purely a means to get something else. And because it's a means to get something else, if I don't need that means, excuse the play on words, that means that I have it for a purpose to help somebody else. The Maharal has a whole explanation on this. He explains it a little bit more elaborately.
Are you coming to the door?
Yeah. Just 1 second, in 2 minutes. Okay? Okay. The Seder. Anyway, that's the idea of thing. I just go with Derech Agav mentioned over here. That the Anshe Sedoim. The Anshe Sedoim were that was their thing, that they were anti-chesed. But they did it not just as a because they couldn't be bothered to help him. It was a shitta. It was a mode of behavior that we do not do chesed in Sedoim. It's anti-chesed. That's basically what Stern was about. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll stop. Yeah, just a short one to finish off. Below Tasu.
Oh, hold on. Where were we?
Mishaloi Tasu. Mishaloi Tilmadu Lo Tasu. Harei Shtei Averos. Okay, it comes out with 2 Averos. That's basically what he's saying. What Rashi's preluding is that Rashi pointing out that these psukim over here are going to mention, we'll see more about it tomorrow, there's 7 Averos. And that's what he said, 7 against 7. So there are going to be 7 punishments for the 7 Averos. Okay, we'll stop here then, but Hashem will pick it up again tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay?
Mayor, before you came here, we said that there is going to be a class tomorrow for this.
Bezat Hashem.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Fine.
All right, bye-bye. Have a great day.